way to do it, and they just follow the rules. That's machine-made rules.
Right.
There's no human will in it.
Yeah.
Humans are just the bees distributing the pollen from machine plant to machine plant.
Right. But they still have personal vested interests that they want to see promoted.
Usually those are rules from another medium or machine, basically money, that they're filtering it through that view, the view of the machine they think they're working for. Because remember, they want to make money, that machine, so they go into the other machine media to make money. So they think they're working for money, but they don't know that money doesn't need consumers anymore. Broad area. The new batch is the kids that I'm creating through Flipside who will have the intuitions to get it over the next 30 years. I'm creating a reincarnated understanding. That's what I mean. I'm resuscitating humanity. We can't create any. We can't use any past reference.
A lot of those kids in that Flipside's talking to look like they're pretty sick people.
That's right. They're dead. You know. Most of them won't survive. You know. They just. But the lucky ones will notice the articles and something will happen to them.
Yeah.
Well,
They're dead to the point.
What?
Dead to the point where they have no respect for life at all. They'll just go out. 14-year-old kid will go out and blow somebody's brains out and not even have a second thought about it.
Yeah. Because they've become machines at best.
That's pretty dead.
Yeah. That's why I wasn't extreme. I was describing what the LA's dealing with.
Yeah, but that isn't a flip side reader, Scott. Be practical. Those are kids who are rich kids who are just doing rock and roll.
Flipside?
Yeah, they're not sickos.
Yeah, they're machines, but they're imitating the real machines, the black culture. Right. Like Kelly says, black culture is the source of cultural content. So they're murderers now, so the white kids have romanticized the murder. That's the point.
But they're harmless.
Right, well they're removed, they're not even exist, but the point is they're
That's just like hip, trendy, you know, old punk.
The point, that's not even an argument. The point, they don't exist, but they're imitating the black anthropomorphic projection of machine reality. So the blacks are the ones who seem to be the anthropomorphic source of it. They're not, because their culture is more in tune with the machines that dominate. Try to explain that to those fucking guys.
Why the machines that dominate? Because their image.
Yeah, they're iconic
on the television.
Yeah, and that's a long time ago. Now it's even more mutated. You know, I have to do a long lecture on that. It's implied in my opening Bob stuff in Emphatic Communion. The first paragraph I explain rap music and the archetypalizing of the verbal. That's in the first paragraph. You know, about page 85 of. Is that page? No, 75. Page 75 of Emphatic Communion. I explained black culture. That's 10 years ago. 8 years ago.
82?
No, actually it's 90. It's fucking only 6 years ago. Because it was a CBC. No, it's from a show. It's 89 or 90. Yeah, just get it up now and read it. See what I say. See if you can make sense of it. A great image that McLuhan had was that humans are shepherds in the 20th century. We're just shepherding the media around. The media are the source of wealth, the staples, the economy, and the humans are shepherds.
Something I find amazing is how fragmented it's gotten. You've got somebody like Don Avalon who studied with Marshall, not only studied with Marshall, but was a student that Marshall
respected.
That's
right.
And yet she meets you, and she freaks out.
That's right. Well, it's true. I fucking influenced McLuhan in the 50s. The point is, Marshall kind of stuff. You read my thing. When we found out this fucking professor knew what was going on, I was sent on my first mission. What was I, 32 years old? I went over there to fucking check him out. And then we had to leave him alone. So a lot of his ideas he got from me, which was based on my experience with the Sea Council 10.
Who were you?
Bob Dobbs. Who am I? So, Don and them don't know that. They don't know that.
Yeah, but
They're getting closer to Marshall. They're getting closer to what they think Marshall is by talking to me. That's why it blows them up. They get more real Marshall from me than they could from Marshall.
But
okay, I need my food.
Don gets. You go help yourself.
Where is it? It's just sitting there.
I'm just saying 6 a.m. And I could come home and I could breeze through and see if there's anything I wanted to listen. If there was, I could dub it down to cassette and listen to it in my car.
That's when you worked at midnight.
Yeah.
But you were listening to them before that.
Yeah.
And you'd be home and you just listen for a while, or stay up late and listen.
Yeah.
So you were prepared for that, and then, so that's good. That's somebody who was prepared by Roy, and then heard something that was way beyond Roy, and you couldn't figure it. And
I couldn't figure out how you didn't get more airplay. I mean, when I heard you on David Porter's show, I got so excited about the things you were saying, and you know, people were calling in and responding. And then when the show was only on once every 2 months, and then it got canceled, and Roy, I'd written 2 letters to Roy on 2 separate occasions, and he knows me because I met him personally, and I thought he might take an endorsement from me or listen to me. I sent him a copy of your interview with David J. Brown. He got radiation sickness or something, and so and so he hits hard on the political conspiracy thing because he hates. Yeah, there's a personal thing there.
But see, Roy's he's not a subtle intellectual. I can tell that when I used to listen to him. You know, I heard him years ago when he interviewed May. And it was a crummy interview. I knew this guy's a flake. He doesn't know what he's up against, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect anything from him because.
Yeah.
But he's
well,
he's the LA
credit.
guy.
Yeah.
Everybody's on. He wants it, but he's too stupid. He's obsolete.
Yeah. I give him credit for doing what he did.
Yeah, he did. He educated people. He brought the kids, in a sense, in the 50s sensibility up to the 60s and 70s, and then that's as far as he takes them. And Bob brings in the 80s and 90s.
But yeah, I mean, I listened to his show religiously for several years. After I got turned on to Bob, and Jerry started giving me tapes. I don't think I ever tuned it in again.
Yeah, and Roy, I think instinctively knows that. He knows that I'm going on a level that he's not ready for, and his show ain't ready in his audience. He knows that.
He's still got a big audience. He's one of the meat and potatoes at KPFK.
Yeah. Well, like California is, as Thompson says in his new book. California is a bastion of the 60s Gaia media interface of that phase. It's stuck there. That's its mythic stage. Because what else is there here in Cal? Nothing. It's going downhill. The jobs are going and all that stuff. And virtual reality's come in and taken over. So.
Well, you look at, talk about disappeared. You look at at Deep River Books, they have this big map on the window, and it's a map of the United States after the earthquake, which is supposed to happen in a couple of years, about around the time that the booties are going to make contact.
Map. Is that Laurie Toy's map?
No, it's this psychic guy, Michael Scallion.
Yeah.
And California's just broken up into a few islands, like that movie we saw last night.
Right.
So.
Well, Allie was using that map. Allie was using that reference.
He was referencing Michael Joseph Scallion.
Yeah. So what's that got to do with what we're saying?
Well, no, it's just interesting because that's around the time that you say the booties are going to make contact.
Right.
So.
Well, that's what has been explained to me is that the booties have a problem. They don't know whether to come before the cataclysm or after.
Before. Oh, so you think
because
there's
going to be blamed? What?
There's going to be a cataclysm.
Well, that's the way it was in the 70s. This is an old reading, and then in the reading explained that they never said then, but the cataclysm was the political cataclysm of the collapse of the world economy, and we see it as Russia's collapse, but it's the whole world. It was a media collapse. That's my chart is literally accurate. It's the collapse of virtual reality that we've been in for 50 years, and now nobody knows what to do. As part of the effects of that on one of the media, Earth, they're going to have earthquakes and things like that. But that's not the cataclysm. They were very careful in saying, not defining what the cataclysm was. And this multi-level cataclysm is what the booties have a problem come before or after, because they're going to be blamed for causing it or blamed for not helping. That's their dilemma. And I've said that on my shows, somewhere in the tapes where I've talked about that. That's the basic thing that I know that nobody else knows about what their strategy is and how they're going to organize it, or when they're going to do it. And they definitely had to do it after the Cold War.
They'll be seen as enemies if they're seen as having caused the collapse.
Oh, and the earthly powers will exploit that, like Independence Day. That's a bullshit. That's a bad film. It's great fun.
One thing I liked about it was
lots to like. Now remember, lots to like, but the message is really anti-Bootian.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because it makes you afraid of it.
Right. Except that it gives human beings a sense of being able to stand up in the face. That scene where the alien comes out and the guy punches it in the head. It's like the humans are saying.
So I gotta sleep. So what are you gonna do, Jared? Is Carolyn sleeping?
Well, your friend's Randy's gonna be here at 2:00.
That's it.